to be in a room with so many strong survivors, this is kind of an emotional night, so I'm just very happy to be here. During the summer of 2003, life for me was typical. I had a great job, an amazing boyfriend, and life was pretty much perfect. I had plans for a career, hopefully getting married and starting a family. I had a lot of amazing plans, and not one of them included cancer. But life had something else in store for me. In August of 2003, at the age of 24, I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of stage 3 breast cancer. This was obviously shocking, as I had no family history. In fact, cancer was something that was very rare in my family to begin with. I'd only been at my job for about 8 months, with my boyfriend for about a year and a half, and this really should have devastated me, but it didn't. I found an inner strength I didn't know existed, and the desire to fight no matter what. I had a reason to live. My boyfriend proposed to me in the midst of all of the chaos, and he wanted to fight with me. We spent the next year of my cancer craziness planning our wedding. I also worked full-time. I was still a probationary employee, and I needed to keep my insurance. I did not sign up for the long-term disability that was available to me when I started, so I really didn't have any other choice than to continue working to pay for my cancer treatment. Fighting cancer became my life. It became my new normal. I got a partial mastectomy, and at that time they removed 18 of my lymph nodes, and 13 of them were positive for cancer. I was given a minimum time to heal when they started my very aggressive treatment of chemotherapy and radiation all at the same time. During that process, I became very close to my doctors and nurses and physician's assistants and everyone who was involved in my treatment. I was treated locally here by Dr. Lester, Oncology Care Associates, and my radiation was also done here at Lakeland. I never joined a support group, which I don't completely recommend, but for me it was good because of the relationship I had with the staff. And we were pretty close in age to a lot of the nurses. It seemed to be what I needed at that time. After what seemed like a lifetime, I got the news that I had been waiting for, that I was cancer-free. I celebrated and thought that I could get back to finally normal life. Getting back on track, everything should be good. Except for the fact that what is normal anymore? I just spent every waking moment dealing with all things cancer. It's what I thought about, dealt with, talked about. How was I ever supposed to feel normal again? And the truth is, you never feel how you did before cancer again. Your life is completely different. Your plans have changed and your outlook is new. I was so young when this happened to me. I should have been traveling. I should have been partying. I should have been having fun and not worrying about anything else other than if my boyfriend was going to propose to me and if all my dreams would come true. The harsh reality is I had to grow up a lot, mentally and physically. Treatments put me into early menopause, and my body just felt run down and old, and I was bald. I went bald before my brothers, because baldness runs in my family. So I was a young adult, and I was completely starting over. Things didn't suddenly get easy once treatment was over. I was starting the next part of the cancer process, the recovery. And all these years later, I'm still dealing with some of that. I did get married to my sweet fiance, who stood by my side the entire time. We were married exactly 1 year from the day I started chemo. I got married wearing a wig. I got to watch all of my bridesmaids get their hair done for our wedding. And I just had to put mine on, which I guess was not so stressful, but it's not what I wanted. And after several years, we started thinking about and talking about trying to have kids. Thankfully, my menopause didn't last, but we didn't know if it was possible because of everything that happened. We got the go-ahead from the doctor to go ahead and try. I had at least 2 miscarriages that I know of before my 3 beautiful daughters were born. They are 7 and 4 and 2. They are my true miracles and what I live for now every day. I have also dealt with depression and anxiety. I've always wondered at this point if my cold is more than just a cold, if my headache is more than just a headache. Every little thing that happens to me triggers a never-ending stream of questions and what-ifs. After being so strong through the treatment, I now feel paranoid and weak, terrified of the next horrible thing to happen to me or someone I love. I've seen friends be diagnosed with cancer, and I feel every bit of their pain and fear. I used to love the fall, but since it was fall when I started and went through my treatment, every fall brings back the feeling that I had when I went through treatment. The smells and everything just kind of comes back. I deal daily with lymphedema because of all the lymph nodes that they took. My left arm, which I refer to as my Popeye arm, fluctuates in size quite a bit. I often stretch out any shirts that I buy because they just don't fit. And I also can't wear my wedding ring anymore because my hand has swelled up. So I actually bought this at the gift store at the hospital. It's sparkly and it makes me look married, and I'm fine with it. I wish that I could say, after years of being a survivor, that this goes away, but it doesn't. But I've come to accept, for the most part, that this is who I am now. I'm a little crazy, forgetful, paranoid, and irrational. But I'm also more compassionate, understanding, and as hard as it is, stronger. I've become a member of a club I never wanted into, but I am now grateful to have. Cancer survivors are the only ones who truly understand what I'm feeling and going through, and that I'm not alone. No matter what stage you are in this journey, you aren't alone. I have a group of friends, young breast cancer survivors in this area, and I call them my breast friends, who completely understand me. We laugh together and cry together, we encourage each other, and we make each other feel normal. And that's what it comes to. You can't go back. Life after cancer will seem alien to you, getting used to a new way of living, but there are many of us who are willing to go through it with you. Don't be afraid to reach out. Utilize the resources available to you and find your group of people who will make you feel better about everything you go through.